All right, all right, all right. IPO calendar. Do we get an IPO today? Was there an IPO today? IPO December 8th. Good morning. Oh, waiter broke 4. Okay, today we have DoorDash. DoorDash IPO comes out today, guys. We'll see what that does to waiter. Lockup expiring on camera not available. What are you talking about? Camera not available. She may be dead, Jim. The camera may have died. That is unfortunate. This may be a no camera stream. That is truly unfortunate. Yeah, when I unplug it and plug it back in, it works for a second and then it goes dead. I mean, this thing is 8 years old here. Quick driver update, I guess. I'll pull up marbles while we're waiting here. Um, it's thinking. Maybe there's an update here. Hmm. Quest blocked, huh? Downloads. Let's see if we can get this fixed. But while we're waiting, I will pull up the marble. Where's the game capture here? Which apparently has a massive update. Okay. Hmm. What is going on here? Hmm. Oh boy. Oh, the article here says the 8th. DoorDash on the 8th. No camera. Hmm. Do 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 do. Well, that's good to know that Santa can get in. What site are you finding the IPO info on? IPO's on the street. The street. TheStreet.com. Exclamation mark play to get in, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you know how this goes. If you don't, if you're new, you get in, you play, you win, you get to pick. That's what it's saying. That's what I'm seeing. Maybe I check some other sources, but the camera has died, I believe. I think it's dead, Jim. I am going to try to check for drivers real quick here, but when I plug it in, it's like it's thinking for a moment and then it dies. Yeah, you can see the light like flicker. Um, I don't think Airbnb is today. No. C920 drivers. Windows 10. Trying to see which one of these I need. It looks like it's this one. So I'll download this and see if I can get this to bring the camera up. In the meantime, let's go. Yeah, NNDM is doing quite well pre-market. Yeah, I mean, Best Buy is a long-term hold through Q4 for sure. Last final day, nice, Logor Hunter. Okay, so we're gonna get this Logitech G Hub installed. Let's run this race. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Remember, guys, in the market, it may be okay today. Oh, what happened? Swear I'm not cheating. What just happened? Everything just closed. All right, where are you guys? There you are. The replay's always there for you, only up from here though. For me, I'm watching the DoorDash IPO on Waiter today. I might exit Sundial. I'm not sure. A bit sus, yeah. I was just giving myself a boost. What can I say? No Flake in first. Guys, the subs on the list are diminishing. It's more non-subs than subs. That means that we're growing. If you guys are new to the stream, please go and tweet out. Stock Twits, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you guys, social media. If you guys can share the stream, that would be huge. Absolutely huge. I would greatly appreciate that. Still waiting. Still waiting on the national defense contract to be signed. So once that national defense contract is signed, then we start to see some movement on ACRX with the announcement of Army filing. So just waiting. Just waiting. Everybody gets bogged. Those bricks. Oh, portal. I'm not a threat 42, taking the lead. I mean, sure. I'm okay with grinder folks coming on over. Have I seen Big? No. Is that Big 5? People are people dying back there? Is that what's happening? These blocks are just crushing. I'm not a threat here. He had a huge lead, and no longer. Oh, and now these guys are all stuck in the blocks. Looks like we got to wait for everybody. I think DoorDash IPOs today. The calendar that I saw had DoorDash coming out today. Yeah, Waiter is definitely getting a boost from DoorDash. It hasn't said anybody's died yet, though. Normally, like their death thing comes in on the bottom there. You're still at the start. Yeah, you're back there. People love first in the tube, first in the tunnel. Let's follow him. Whoa! And the end. People love takes it. Last second. People love grabs it. Congrats, people love. Let me know. It won't let you just automatically add a camera in, huh? All right. So what we will do today then is what am I going to do here? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go.
Your cam is down.
Yeah, I know. I think it's dead, Jim. I think I got to get another one.
Rick is dying. The sign.
I'm just trying to find an image that I can use. Bum, 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 bum. What the heck was that conference called? Oh no, not like this, Jim. Not like this. Not like this. Freaking. This is why you always test your crap before you go live, because once you're live and you got to do this crap, it's just annoying. Okay, am I on the picture? Good, I'm on the picture. Awesome. So let's go here. Let's go here. And we'll do that. We'll do that. No, not you. Seriously, piss off. All right. So you guys can still hear my audio. You're not going to be able to see me move, which means I can make lewd gestures at you all throughout the day. And you will not be aware of it. So that'll be fun.
Quick throw, gang sign.
Oh, I already did. You just didn't know it. In other news, yeah, what I've got here is C3AI and DoorDash are today, guys, is what I'm seeing. Now I'm going to try to find some other sources. DoorDash IPO. Did we get a ticker? Did somebody throw out the ticker?
Not DD, because that's DuPont.
Did somebody who won? People love Fudu. Fudu is what we're watching. FUTU. Big sheet. Fudu. Fudu. What's Fudu? $40 stock, so it's like a real thing. Anybody? Fudu.
Millennial.
Fudu Holdings.
Am I crazy to think that DD DuPont might be a good short-term intermediary bet because people are stupid and they might think that DD is DoorDash, not DuPont?
I think that's unlikely.
Okay.
I think that's really unlikely. If there was I mean, oh, it says it's pricing its shares today, so I don't know that DoorDash is getting traded today.
I mean, someone was saying, oh, 50 something dollars a share, and DuPont's like 65. And I'm like thinking, are people going to be stupid enough to think that DD is DuPont, DoorDash and not DuPont?
Hmm. I understand you have an authority problem. It's sweet of you to send kisses, though. Do 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 do. Bum, 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 bum. So I do post on StockTwits every morning, guys. If you see somebody pop in who's got the rage like that, it's either your typical Twitch troll or somebody from StockTwits that's upset that I'm on the other side. But good morning. It's Tuesday. Yeah. So camera is officially dead, guys. I'll go out and get another one for tomorrow. Cam has died. Rest in peace. It was my cam for damn 8 years. 8 years. That Logitech C920 has served me well. But no, don't short Logi. That's great. 8 years out of a webcam. I used the hell out of it. Did quite well. Rip. Rip. So you get a stationary image of me today, guys, but I will be talking plenty. Yeah, my OnlyFans will hear the sweet sound of silence. All right, what do we got? Viacom. Good news for Amazon. I wanted to. That's what I was doing. I was going to Twitter to see who is ringing the opening bell. Yeah, it's the buyout. Yeah, that's exactly it. Well, one is that it brings news back to that industry, but the other one is that um, with that new money from the IPO, that you could see. Okay, here's the exchange. You could see the buyout as a result of the money that they raised through the IPO. Domino's. Oh, that was that yesterday. That was yesterday. Domino's rang the opening bell. Stream schedule today, guys. I'm gonna be fine as far as I know. I haven't had any episodes or issues this morning, so far so good. Again, from now until New Year's, it's who knows when it's gonna hit, what's gonna trigger it. If I drop off very quickly, know that it's simply because I need to take care of myself. So that being said, though, I will do my best not to have that happen. Uh, my mic is getting cucked. People are having a hard time hearing my mic.
No, you're fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that would be terrible if I lost my mic and my camera on the same day. I feel like there should be more news on DoorDash. DoorDash is the most ridiculous IPO of 2020. Holds no value beyond bailing out private investors, a veteran equities analyst says. It is set to go public on Tuesday. We think this proposed equity offering holds no value. $0 beyond bailing out private investors before unsuspecting public investors realize. He's concerned that it took a global pandemic for the company to turn a profit, though revenue grew 260% year over year in the third quarter. DoorDash might not be profitable in the future, especially after coronavirus vaccine sends more people back to restaurants. I agree. DoorDash is looking to raise 3.1 billion by dropping at $90 to $95 a share. So I don't know that DoorDash is going to be available out the gate, though, guys. But I do want to have, what is it? DOOR? Is that? We got Masnet International Group for door. So it's not door. Redemption, there's the mix-up play if you want. Door is more likely to. What is DoorDash's ticker?
People are saying Dash.
Yeah, so guys, door could get some unforeseen pumping on that, especially since its price point is extremely similar to where DoorDash wants to come out. So door is sitting at 95.57, which is right where. I'm gonna watch door 2 to see if door buys up today. People getting the ticker wrong. But we do have the Dash IPO, so that will be something that we watch today, guys. The bell ring? Bell must have rung, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because TD is losing its mind. All right, Fudu. Fudu is a Hong Kong-based wealth management system.
It's a Chinese company.
When is the IPO? The IPO somewhere today. What we're seeing is it is sometime today. All right, let's go to the daily instead of the monthly here. And we'll go a minute. Maybe throw 2 days up here. I mean, that's a decent jump here. I'm not familiar with Fudu, so I'm not sure. People love why the jump from 42 to 45. Did it do something right? Holdings, I'm up $200 on the day. Waiters up nicely at that $4 range. Can we revisit Mara today? Absolutely. I'm actually looking to put some more money into Mara, so I would not mind getting in on that. Yeah, I got into Apto. I got in. Well, I got into APS shares yesterday. I don't know what Waiter does here. This is not typical. Like this is an interesting day. I think DoorDash is gonna be very, very, very interesting. Okay, so this is a hedge fund or an insider buy. Okay, I mean that's a decent growth. If you when did you catch that news, people? Yesterday or today? Was that this morning that you got that news or last night? Is it possible to sell options on Dash already? I don't think so. News was this morning. Okay, so that makes that a little bit more difficult to play unless you can enter pre-market. But I mean, nice grab. That would have been a decent little jump there pre-market. Just opening up my options portfolio here to see if I can get. Robinhood is crashing again. Rip. Okay. No, I was gonna say IB is giving me a hard time loading in too, but apparently that's not the case, so we're good. Let's see if there are dash options available. I see stock only with no bid ask. So I don't think that you can do it yet. All right, that's Fudu, guys. This was a good grab on an insider buy. That initial buy up, it'll probably level somewhere around that 45 mark. Six sheet. What are we watching today? I'm not watching American Airlines anymore. I'd like to have ACRX up here. I'm going to have Sundial down here because I'm still in that position. We're going to go. Thanks. Yeah, the camera's dead, so I got to go to the Radio Shack today and get another one.
Oh, your webcam?
Yeah.
Oh, how'd that happen?
I don't know. It's 8 years old, right? That's the same cam I've been using all these years.
You've got a new one. When
No, no, that's the same one that I used when I was doing the Infinite Crisis. This is, so we want this to be waiter. We want this to be, what else do I want to watch today? I guess we want to watch Dash today, right? We'll just leave that in there until it happens. Whatever it's called now. It's called Source or Circuit City or whatever it is. I couldn't tell you what it is, but that store that sells the electronics right up the street. I got to go get a webcam today. Guys, for those of you out there that want to see what's happened in the portfolio, you can always go check it out over on Tip Ranks. That's there for you as well, guys. If you did not listen to the latest episode of Slap That Ass, Martini is on medical leave with migraines for the next couple of days, guys, until her health improves. It looks like we are going to miss the episode this week, but not a big deal. We will be back next week with an action-packed episode, I promise. If you guys aren't following and subbing to this wherever you may be watching, please do that. But yeah, here we go. This is the day. This is what we're watching. I think Oracle is due to decline as well. Yeah, that $4 line on Waiter is just, it's so solid. Fuel Cell, that's the other one that I wanted up there. Six sheet. What would I get rid of? ACRX isn't going to move really until we get news on the national defense bill. So we'll put Fuel Cell up here, guys. Fuel Cell dropped to 760 yesterday. That was an over adjustment, I think. So I did get in. I think that Fuel Cell has a lot of opportunity to run on the Biden approval next week, which is next week, guys. We get the electoral vote next week. We will know one way or the other. I don't see anything that would indicate that that's not what we're going to see. Kodak is still doing well. I'm looking at the options portfolio right now, and okay. I mean, up 3% for the day. What's doing well? These leaps are doing well. Kodak's doing well. Apparently, I did not have 750 calls. I had $40 calls for Kodak, which is fine. They're still up nicely for me. Gap is still down. It's the only leap that's currently down for me. These other ones are up very nicely. This one's up over 100%. Cinemark is going to be a little bit of a long haul on this. I'm trying to think. Yes, absolutely. I think we see lockdowns happen, whether they're federally implemented or state implemented. We see lockdowns. And when lockdowns occur, you're going to need to have masks for always. Now, ABT is one that I might actually be looking at a leap play for decline, right? So ABT, guys, for those of you that don't know, let's head back here. ABT, for those of you that are unaware, Receive from channel 1. Okay. Yeah, ABT guys is it's just not a sector that I play in. Even fuel cell, like fuel cell was one that I've been watching for a long time, so I know a little bit more about it because I did try energy back in February and I got bid on it pretty bad. Fuel cell's the only thing I took a win on, so that's the only reason I like fuel cell. It's not that I don't like Clean Spark; it's just I I prefer to stay out of the industry. Fuel cell, I just see there being a lot of money into Biden. Clean Spark would probably be a very similar play uh, if I was more informed on it. I might like it. I just like fuel cell. I specifically like fuel cell because it has a long-standing contract with the state of California, and Kamala Harris is all about that California green energy regime, right? So, fuel cell being in the pocket of California, California being in the pocket of Kamala Harris, who's the incoming VP. Good chance that Biden kicks the bucket sometime over the next 4 years and she becomes the president. I think fuel cell does quite well. So at $7, I think honestly it should come to somewhere around 15. So if I could double up on it, that's great. But I'll take what I can get on it. Okay, so guys, Abbott. Abbott makes healthcare products. Okay, principally, it's made its money on the masks and protective gear that you require. What you'll see here is earnings. Okay, so here's this year, and it's just beat time and time again. Q4, it's expected to have a massive, massive payout. However, I think that the increase in um, let's see, let's go to there. Let's go back a year. Okay, let's go back to December. Yeah, let's do September through December 2019. Abbott Laboratories Q3 earnings preview, EPS and revenue in line. Okay, so here is their Q3 from last year, revenue of 8.1 billion. Okay, so this is in line. Now let's go to ABT for its last earnings. So 8.1 billion. This year 8.9, or yeah, Q3 8.9 billion. Okay, so they made roughly another $1 billion over last year. Now, as the vaccine rolls out and we move into reduced lockdowns, I don't think that we're going to see people continue to wear masks after the vaccine drops or after they've been vaccinated. If somebody's been vaccinated, I think they're going to get vaccinated, and that's it. They're going to stop wearing masks. They're going to stop social distancing because they've got the vaccine, right? And so with that, I think companies like Abbott that have really soared on those sales are going to decline. Now, where do I see Abbott coming back down to? Well, I mean, let's look at Abbott. Abbott, let's go to 5 year. Okay, so Abbott pre-COVID drop was around the 89 mark, right? Ooh, give tendies. 5 months in a row, 4 month streak. I'm loving it, Smash Ice. Thanks so much, man. Hope you're enjoying these waiter tendies this morning. SNDL is showing a little bit of life. It's up 4% here. Looks like when it hit that 40, people started to buy the dip. Nicola's still sitting at 19. I want to get rid of Nicola. I don't want to be watching it. Hexa, I'm going to get rid of here. EPM, I'm done with. Corsair, I'm done with. Funko, I am still in. Blackberry, I'm in. CCL. Baba, I can. Do I still have options plays on Baba? Baba. I do. I do have an options play on Baba. Okay, so that's still fine. Best Buy, I don't have an options play. Cars, I do. NSL, I do. ACB, WPRT. Wrong cam. There you go. Dash, ACRX, SSG. It's not a long-term hold. I'd like to see it go to 8 to 10, and I'd get out. If it goes to 8, I'll get out probably. Okay. Door is not seeing any love from the Dash thing. GPS, Palantir, I don't need. Wells Fargo, I don't need. DGLY, I want up here. Hill, I'm done with. Oracle, I project, is going to be coming down. DraftKings I can get rid of. Space I can get rid of. Enox I can get rid of. GSX is a potential short. KODK I'm still in. Mara I'm still in. BCRX I'm out of. Apto I'm out of. All right. Tidy up that watch list a little bit, right? Fastly's running again. Let's open up the scanners here, see what's moving. Neuro, guys, NURL, this is a biostock, 78%. Lexicon Pharmaceutical, 45. Stitch Fix, 42. Cancer Gents, 30%. Liquidity Services. YQ, Chinese education stock, up 15%. Halted. Halt has been lifted. Bunch of OTC crap. More and more OTC crap on here. GTE, Grand Tierra. What is this? GTE. The big jump today. What is there to know about Grand Tierra? Okay, this is a low float energy stock. Decent volume at the gate. It's tapered off. I expect that this will fall back down, so it's not going to hold its gains. Take care, Logo Hunter. Crush that thing. Get it done. SNDL, top of the volume again. SNDL's got 92 million on it. Let's go to the 6 sheet, see what we get. SNDL tearing from 40 up to 58. Did you hold? Yeah. I held half. I exited half. This is about where I exited yesterday, was this 58 mark. Got some airlines at a good price point, $10 range. I want to free up cash to play more. What would you do? It depends on the airline and it depends on the price point. If you have one of the big players, United, American Airlines, I'd be okay holding. If you got something smaller, I might let it go. That's my opinion, though, for what it's worth. Yeah, if I had American Airlines, I mean, the reason why I exited American Airlines, guys, is because it was a strategy play, and I was in on Friday night and out Monday morning for a quick game. Waiter is showing some positive love here. NSL is slowly picking up some steam. JetBlue. with the airlines, guys, it's kind of tough because you don't want to get sucked into bias, right? Look at that thing rip. A little bit of profit taking, just a little bit of profit taking. And now, so I want you guys to know, StockTwits has been silent pretty much all morning from the bulls on SNDL. Okay, now watch this. See, there's even people on here calling people out. Y'all fake bulls need to shut the hell up with y'all bipolar asses. Mara down 5% today. Again, guys, Mara. Okay, so you want to revisit Mara? Let's revisit Mara right now. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so with Mara, guys, the news is this. We'll go to Mara. We'll go to BTC USD. Okay. In chat, guys, we're sitting at 18,000 right now. 18.8. Close to 19,000 on Bitcoin. Who here thinks that Bitcoin is going to 20,000 sometime in 2021? Just type a Y in chat if you think that's going to 20,000, okay? Okay. Okay, so we have a general consensus that we think that this is going to at least 20,000, right? Okay, so if Bitcoin's going to 20,000, the only thing that Mara really does is mine Bitcoin, right? It's a digital asset company that mines cryptocurrencies. Now, it doesn't specifically just mine not yet. Over on YouTube, we have a not yet, which is okay. Over stuff, and I would like to know what your thoughts are on, do you think that Bitcoin is going to decline back down to 10,000 before it goes up to 20,000? But I'm thinking generally we're going to see it go to 20,000. The market is going to prefer crypto over gold headed into the new year. We are going to continue to see lockdowns. Regardless of the vaccine news, there will be new lockdowns, guys. That's going to happen. So with those lockdowns will come uncertainty. With uncertainty will come people trying to shore up their money. People will shore up their money where they think it's safest. It's not in gold. Did I see fuel cell? Why? What is fuel cell doing? Oh, look at that. It's taken off. Yeah, money on fuel cell. Oh, mRNA. Okay, well, I'll finish Mara. So, guys, the news that has me pumped about Mara is Let's find it here. Okay, in July, Marathon bought 700 Bitcoin miners, okay? Started to pick up some steam. It's got a contract with Bitmain. Then it announces it's acquiring fast block mining. They keep moving forward. Now they're announcing that they're buying 10,000 more miners. Yeah. Okay. So overstuff, and I wouldn't disagree with that. I do think that happens sometime in 2021 though. Sometime in the next 12 months, I think we see that. Yeah, just because the lockdowns won't be done properly though doesn't mean that the businesses aren't going to have to abide by it. The average person can just disregard the rules, but businesses can get shut down. Uh, Permanently losing your liquor license or your food license would cripple a lot of businesses out there, restaurants especially. I had seen several restaurants out of Cali that are refusing to lock down, so we'll see. Um, there will never be a cure. It's a flu strain. There will never be a cure. This thing is with us for a while. But yeah, they picked up 10,000 more miners, guys. They're pumping up their exahash. They're able to produce more coins. For me, Marathon, when they get these new miners installed in sometime between January and June of next year. Okay, so 500 in November, 4,000 in January, 6,300 in February, 4,800 in March, and 1,800 each month of April, May, and June. So they're seeing the bulk of the deliveries in January and February, actually. January, February, March. So that first quarter of 2021, they're seeing a massive increase in miners. Yeah, and that's a big thing too. They closed down a testing station in California. They closed down a testing station in California to do a film shoot, and it had people pretty pissed off. But that's Mara, guys. The play is 10,000 more miners into an appreciating currency. Um, yeah, the cost of this will be on Q4, which is fine. I'm not going to play the DoorDash IPO. I'm playing it by proxy through Waiter. Um, Yeah, so I mean, be careful with those plays because I think that there's a lot of potential for it just to reverse and go back the other way, right? Anything stimulus. Do I like Waiter long term though? I've played Waiter in and out several times, so let's pull up the big sheet here and I'll show you guys. Um, WTRH. Let's go over the year. Okay, so I played Waiter. I didn't get in on this initial one. I got in here and out here. I got in here. I got out here. I missed this. Um, and then I got in here and no, I got in here, out here, in here, and now I'm waiting. I don't dislike Waiter long term. I like to let it drop its earnings, do well, take my profits, let it come back down, and get in again. It is due for a bigger run than this, though. It is like right here where it's up around 6. It's got to break through this $4 line, which it hasn't been able to do since September. But it's definitely worth more than this. So we'll see what DoorDash does for it today. I do like it long term, but there's a lot of other plays that I also like. So still nothing on Dash. SNDL doing well. Cinemark is doing well. Glad I got into that Cinemark leap. See, Bob is up a little bit today. Hill 250s are still here. DGLY 450s, AMC puts. These may expire worthless. What is AMC doing? Why AMC is buying up? That makes no sense to me. I think this thing is doomed to die a terrible death. But timing is everything with options, and you get your timing wrong and you're bust. So that may just be the case for me. Thought on GME earnings? When do they drop their earnings?
Goldman's on AMC for some reason.
Stimulus. It's got to be stimulus.
Has to be.
And we saw hints of this yesterday, guys, that there's stimulus movements happening. I think everybody's just getting prepped for next week, right? Next week when that electoral college votes and Biden gets elected, expect to see more stimulus talk. I don't know that they'll push it through right away. They might wait until after Christmas when he officially gets inaugurated. But for the most part, if it's a fait accompli where he is for sure getting the office, then I mean this stalling doesn't serve anybody's purposes. You might as well just get the job done. Yeah, it'll be okay. It always is. I don't have a sea of red. I am down on the day. Mara, I'm down about $200 on. I would actually like to increase my position on Mara. If I can get out of SNDL today, I probably will. We'll see what this run does, though. Do you think the stimulus will pump Bitcoin price up? Yes. Yeah. The government taking on trillions of dollars more debt. Yeah. I think that's going to drive people to Bitcoin for sure. My average is 75 cents on what I've got left. Hell, if I could get this to come up to, that $70 range, I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. All right. Is there any news? No news on Berlacidin. Look for calendars on FDA approvals here, guys. I know Biofarm Catalyst is here, but I want to see if there are other options because the way that Biofarm Catalyst is working is kind of a pain in my ass. This is kind of more what I want. Okay, MGNX with a PDUFA. What does MGNX do? Macrogenics. It's a bigger company. Yeah, Slotus. I'm of the same opinion that any increased debt spending is going to drive people out of the dollar, out of gold, and into. Howard Stern, new 5-year deal. So, guys, with this news of the Trump administration passing on the Pfizer vaccine, what they failed to realize is the reason why the government passed is because it was unproven, right? So you had 5 vaccines. Pfizer saying, well, you better buy more from us. And they go, well, what if your drug doesn't work? And that money that we've given to you for vaccines that don't work, those orders weren't placed with other people. So instead of putting all their eggs into one basket, the Trump administration actually spread the funds across multiple different vaccines so that if more than one vaccine passes, they would get dosages from those other companies as well. So the Johnson & Johnson, the AstraZeneca, the Moderna, the yada, 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 right? Now, with Moderna, guys, I'm not... I'll show you why I'm not huge on Moderna. And most governments are doing this, but they have which vaccine has most doses? I really don't care about Canadian. I don't know why it keeps doing this. I don't want Canadian results. Trying to find a chart of what goes where here. This is about equal distribution. I'm looking for an infographic here. Morning chores. Just being a good mom, making sure that they don't get away with murder. That's all vaccines. Global COVID vaccine distribution, maybe?
Ugh, I hate this millennial. The only things that are appearing right now are stuff that I really like, but the options are shit or they're like $100.
Yeah. And that's just it. Like that prices me out. I can't play that stuff. I got to be
Well,
realistic. I'm slowly moving up from like I don't have to play $3 stocks anymore. I can play $10 stocks, but at the same time, like I'm not. I don't think I'm ready to make that leap into the $20, $30 range.
it's 100.
Let's see.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird though, because like they're all like agriculture based stocks with whatchamacallit, um they're fertilizer. They focus on fertilizer and something else, right? And I like the
Okay.
concept of getting into agriculture, um, but the high price, the price thinness, and everything is just it's not very palpable. I'd rather just get into my play, and if I wanted something with very thin thin volume and stuff.
This article's about how Jared Kushner has spent the last 4 years going after Scion. I'm seeing bad real estate investment after bad real estate investment, but I'm not seeing how that ties to Scion. There's you read an entire article about Scion, and there's not one mention of Michael Burry. Okay. How do you decide what range of stocks you're playing? Are 10% gains on 100 times $2 the same as 1 times $200 of stock? I guess for me, the way that I'm looking at it is, let's go over here. So let's say we've got, let's find two actual tickers, right? So let's say, let's do a space, let's do a waiter, let's do a ACRX, and let's do something higher than space, something higher than that $20-$30 range. Give me something in the 80s. AT&T? Is that in the 80s, 60s, 70s? Add some color into my Google Sheets. Yes, sir. SNE. Okay. AMD. Okay. So equals Google Finance of this. Suggest autofill. I don't know why it doesn't like AMD and space. Control C, delete, Control V. He's bullshit. I know AMD is a stock. Okay, but AMD doesn't serve my purposes. Okay, so we've got 93.29, $1.44. I need something else other than space here. I need something in that like $10 range. What do we got in the $10 range? What's in that $10 to $20 range? Cars? Okay. Okay. So the way that I see it is this, guys. When you look at movement on stocks, right? When we're talking about the question was, well, what about 20% or 30% or if S&E goes up 20% and ACRX goes up 20%, aren't those the same? Yes, those would be the same. Absolutely. But the reality is for S&E, okay, to go up 20%, right? For S&E to go up 20% equals to this times 1.2. This is how much they would have to go up in dollars in order to make that 20%. Okay. I guess it should be -1, right? Equals to this. minus this. Okay, so that's how much they would have to go up in order to hit 20%. Now, the reality is for SNE to shoot up $19 in a day is far less likely than Wader going up 77 cents in a day or ACRX going up 29 cents in a day. If that makes sense. So the reason why I'm playing where I can is because I go, okay, I have $1,000 to spend. Okay. $1,000 to spend. So this equals this divided by 1,000. Yep. Go ahead and do that. Oh, backwards. 1,000 divided by this. There we go. So C here. And we want all of these numbers to come back to real numbers. Okay, so that's how many shares I'm going to hold of this thing, right? So yeah, the reality is, as far as sheer equity goes, right, the amount of shares that I can hold, let's say that this is, first of all, more likely to move that 29 cents. At the same time, you're making this 29 cents on each share you have, right? So if I had the 11 shares of Sony at 93 whatever, right? So let's go equals to this by 1.2. We're seeing the same thing, right, across the board. But for me, when I look at this at something at $1.44, the reality is I can afford a lot more shares of this at $1.44. So when we're playing 1,000 to 1,000, sure, that's a real thing. But for me, what I'm looking at is, okay, the likelihood of these actually going up 20% is probably Sony going up $19 in a day. Let's take a look at the chart for Sony and see the last time Sony saw movement like that. Okay, so here's the last 10 years of Sony. And I guess we got to go to a chart that I can see it by the day. So here's the last 3 months by day. Biggest gain here, 77 to 80. I think we could agree that this is probably the biggest jump from here to here, right? Maybe here to here. In either case, what we're looking at is a jump of maybe $4. Partially the volatility, but partially the restrictions from my my bankroll, right? So would I like to buy more of Sony because it's a good stable stock? Sure. But am I going to see that 20% growth? No. And so what I have to recognize is that I'm building a growth portfolio. So what I'm looking at right now is things that are in my range. I don't think I'd ever want to go past 15 on a growth portfolio. And I've done it a few times. I've done it with AAL and I've done it with Space, but I haven't made a ton of money on it, right? I have to be pretty sure of the movement I'm going to get on that. But anything sub 15 for me is good territory to play in. Sub $1 is not great. So if you're playing that 1 to 15, great. Okay. That's kind of what I'm looking at there. But yeah, the reason I do that is because if I've got 40 grand and I can get $40,000 worth of shares out of, where do I want to put 40 grand? Do I want to put 40 grand into, 40 grand into ACRX at $1.44, knowing that it has the opportunity for price movement to $2, or do I want to put 40 grand into SNE at 93.45, thinking that it has the opportunity to go to 100, right? Like 7% versus 68%, 70%. That's kind of my thought process on. Mattel is popping. My Mattel, I sold Mattel. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I think Martini's still in it though. Mattel. Yeah, I mean it's up to 1566. Yeah, I mean the FDA is out of options. So pot stocks are seeing a brief resurgence. I mean, it's up 1.5% on the day. That's not terrible, but like AMC up 6%. This is I'm seeing inklings of AAL's up, CCL's up. I'm seeing inklings of a stimulus, guys. That's all this is a stimulus in the wind. Retail sector, I'm not seeing it bounce back, but like pot stocks, movie theaters, travel is what I'm seeing at the moment. What are we seeing for news on the day? Robinhood app down again. The Morax has a 1% chance of passing. There's a lot of OTC on here. A lot of OTC. Penumbra short article. Yeah, and I mean, it is surprising that SNDL is not on those articles, given the fact that it's got 177 million in volume traded today. You would think that there'd be a little bit more to it than that, but I mean, it is what it is. What do I want to do here? I'm arguing about exiting fuel cell. I could almost clear my margin with it. I think waiter runs into the end of the day. I'll set a sell on fuel cell. I mean, is it slowing down? What is it doing here? Fuel cell. Declining volume. All right. I'll put a sell order in on fuel cell here and see what comes of it. It may do nothing. It may do something. We'll see.
Market data connection lost. Trading connection lost. Trading connection re-established. Market data connection re-established.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just leave this at 820 and we'll see what it does. Um, all right. What else we got going on today? We got why does he like laser? What is laser? Mexican weed stocks. PCLO, KHVN, and Aurora Cannabis. What does KHVN do? KHRN. KHRN. Chiron Life Sciences Group. Okay, Canadian base, so I can trade them on the TSX. Q2 results. Revenues down 24% year over year. Okay, PCLO is the other one. PCLO is up to $1. Okay, Mexico legalization. Hmm. The country was ordered by the Supreme Court to approve a law by mid-December. Anyone expecting revenue opportunities in the near term should not get their hopes up. The law is approved, and before any sales can take place, a cannabis agency must be established and secondary rules written. Lawmakers were originally given an October 2019 deadline, but after the Senate failed to reach a consensus, the Supreme Court gave them until the end of April 2020. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, April 2020 deadline was extended again until December 15th. That's next week. Oh, I got filled. Okay. I got filled. PCLO. PCLO. I will trade this on the Canadian market. It's at $1.35 right now, or the past 5 days. This is the low. I like this. Into a Mexico decision next week. I am gonna get, let's say, can I do 10,000 shares? No. Let's do 5,000. Canadian pockets in Mexico, direct flight. You can do a direct flight to Mexico from Canada. You can take a. I've got my hands up like you can see what I'm doing, and you can't. You can take a direct flight from New York to LA, right? Well, the distance from BC to Mexico is shorter than the distance from Canada to Mexico. So for me, they just fly over it. SNDL dropping again. Yeah, I mean, this play for me with SNDL, guys, is into next week, right? Okay, I need to add that into my tip ranks, my holdings, out of fuel cell, PCLO. Next week is the deadline for legalization apparently in Mexico, from what I'm reading. PCL. Oh, am I getting this wrong? Is it not PCLO? It is PCLO. It's not going to let me add this? Really? I'm going to tweet the wolf and see what he has to say about this.
Interesting. So this is the second print I've seen today, and I don't know if this is a dividend play that this person's doing or if there's something else afoot. But CNQ, and I know it's Canadian, but it's interlisted. This person bought I would assume bought or sold, but this person moved 4.7 mil at $25.10. Nothing too much to scoff at or whatever, right? They just moved another 5.8 million at 24.51. I don't know, Millennial. What do you think? CNQ. I don't know long or short though. I don't know what this person's thinking. I generally think they're getting in for the dividend, but looking at its seasonal chart, it's expected to uptake like maybe about 5%.
Canadian Energy. I'm not playing. I wouldn't play it.
It's interlisted.
Yeah, but it's still based in Canada. I'm not touching anything tied to Canadian Energy. Trudeau has cucked Canadian Energy, especially oil-based Canadian Energy. I wouldn't go near it. It can be interlisted all at once. It's still got its resources tied to Canadian legislation. I'm not going anywhere near that shit.
Maybe this person's just positioning because they know we're fucked.
I mean, maybe. It is PCLO. Yeah, okay. So PCLO.
Are you fucking kidding me? Really? MRO. Oh my god. MRO fucking hit my strike. I sold this thing like a quarter out so that knowing that it won't get hit, but I just wanted to collect something because I didn't want it to leave it at zero and not collect anything. Then sure enough, this thing came back to my entry price, went 50 cents above it, and I'm in strike now. But the option doesn't expire until next year.
Interesting. All right, for those of you asking what December 15th is, there have been extended deadlines handed by the Supreme Court to the lawmakers in Mexico, the Senate specifically, in order. Now, I'm not, I'll have to look into the Mexican government and how it operates. I'm not sure. I assume it's something similar to the US government with the Senate, the House, and the president, but I shouldn't just make that assumption. Executive branch by the president, legislative powers vested upon the Congress of the Union, two-chamber legislature, Chamber of Deputies, and Senate. So they have their house is called the Chamber of Deputies. So it's the lower house. Upper and lower doesn't really mean anything. 6-year terms instead of 4-year terms. Okay, so executive is the president, legislative is the two houses, judiciary is the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court, what's interesting is the Supreme Court has put a deadline on the Senate, so the upper house, saying that in Mexico there must be a law by December 15th. So it looks like the lower house has the deadline, December 15th. This is saying that the government has to come up with something by December 15th. So I think that puts it on the lower house to vote sometime this week or next week in regards to legalization. So it looks like there's a deadline next week. So I'm willing to run this PCLO gambit until next week. Again, I think I'm going to hold my... Mara's at 518. I'd kind of like to get some more Mara. Okay. $12.50 at 542. Okay, and can I put SHG in here yet? It's weird because like I'll put in SHG, it will show up in their search, and then when I go to try to add the stock, it doesn't let me. CBIIF. It lets me do the CBIIF though. So I guess I could just do that and do the conversion rate, which is 92 to 91. 94 Canadian to US. 73 cents. So 1,000 at 73. Okay. So that's there. Vader's still up $1,000. I think DoorDash is going to keep running. NSL is the... When was the exit on NSL redemption? January? February? AMC is up 8%. There's some stimulus news coming somewhere. That's all that I can infer from this. There is some kind of stimulus inbound. It makes no sense to me whatsoever that AMC would be up on anything but stimulus news. They have no good news. Maybe I can add PCLOF. PCLOF. Okay, so it shows up there. So maybe I just do that. I'll do PCLOF. Yeah, I'm not sure what the heck's happening with that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, buck 37. $107. 5,000 at 107. What's interesting is if I pull up PCLO and PCLOF, technical difficulties, rough. That's the worst when you're looking to write an exam and nothing's happening, nothing doing. Rip. Yeah, fuel cell did the thing and I got out and I made my monies. And you get rid of it. Okay, so right now, guys, we're looking at about total market value of 36,000 US. As well, the Canadian market margin has about 7,800 Canadian, which is close to $5,000 US. So we are currently sitting at over 40,000 in value. Again, guys, waiter into today. We're just waiting on Dash. Still don't have anything on it, but when do they typically drop the IPOs? When do we see that? Lunchtime? Oh, okay. So Dash is pricing its IPO today, and it will go public tomorrow. Why is Tesla... So Dash is not happening today, guys. We will not see Dash drop today. We will see pricing on Dash today. So I'm going to change this over to PCLO. I'm going to read up a little bit more here on... I'm going to read up a little bit more here on Mexican pot and how that works. As well, who are Mino Labs? Mino Labs. Are they a big deal in Mexico? Stop. Okay, so this is the one I just got in. ACRX is drooping. 140. That's not bad. I was down $5,000 on this thing at one point. It's just a matter of time until they get the military news. It's a when, not if. The Army have committed to it. As soon as that national defense contract comes in, that'll be a thing. Because Bitcoin is the safe haven. It's being. Thank you. No, I already had one. That one's for you. My son is sharing his chips nicely. Yeah. Bitcoin is the name. Bitcoin is the name. People will say Dogecoin and Ethereum and whatever other Litecoin and whatever else you want to use. But the reality is, guys, Bitcoin is where people are comfortable. It's where the majority are trading, and that is the standard crypto. So for me, you guys can argue the merits of the other crypto coins and whatever. I don't really care. I'm not that deep into it. For me, I'm taking Mara because they mine Bitcoin, and they mine a lot of it, and they're going to mine a lot more of it, and so that's what I like about it. The other ones is just because they don't have the hype. When you hear people talking about crypto coin, Bitcoin is becoming almost synonymous, right? So when people say Bitcoin, they may actually be talking about crypto coin, crypto as a whole, but for the most part, the market is talking about crypto and Bitcoin synonymously. You guys got so many distractions for me today. Indiegogo founder's new startup aims to be a Zillow or Kayak for alternative investments like art and crypto. It's like Kickstarter. Okay, so the concept with this, guys, is it's like Kickstarter, except you get a piece, right? With Kickstarter, it's just like support our movie because whatever. With this, it's support our movie and you'll get a percentage of gross revenue. It's like, okay. This could definitely be a thing. Very interesting concept. Oh, that makes sense. Redemption. Okay, so no Dash IPO today. I want the most recent news on this, past 24 hours. A scratchy mic noise on Twitch. Okay, how about that? Is that better? I hope that's better. Okay, weird. It's probably just the broadcast not picking up or not doing it as well. Am I in SpaceX? You can't be in SpaceX. Do you mean space? Yeah, not so much. I am not. I did exit my space position. All right, PCLO, I'm already up $40 on. I'd love to hear back from the Wolf of the Wall Street guy. Let's see if there's anything for PCLO here. Okay, so here's something from November 30th from the Wolf of Wall Street in regards to PCLO. The third quarter revenue being down 97% and the CEO being forced out is what has him negative on PCLO. So, in my opinion, guys, what I'm looking at on PCLO is this. If I go to the big sheet here, right, PCLO, what we're going to see is a massive decline like we see with most pot stocks. From 350 in January, $1.38 right now. But I think the Mexican market here is actually going to drive this thing up. I think the Mexican market may be one of the biggest. Boast Trot, thanks for the follow, man. Much appreciated. Bill to legalize marijuana nationwide that was approved by the Senate last week as part of carrying out a revolution of consciences where each of us is responsible for his own actions. Development of freedoms is very important. Trojan horse that corrupts the health of young people and leads to higher crime. Things do not have to be prohibited. If something is authorized, if something is allowed, well, act responsibly. I believe that this will happen. This new legislation will use marijuana, have confidence in people, and seek do good. Passing the Senate 82 to 18, the bill was formally transmitted to the other body of the nation's Congress, the Chamber of Deputies, this week, and has been referred to several committees there. The proposal, which was circulated in a draft form earlier this month, blah, blah, blah. The bill will also promote peace, security, and individual and community well-being. More political dog shit. Okay. What else do we have here? Bodies, justice, health, human rights, and blah, blah, blah. We'll take up the cannabis bill. It's unclear whether the 500 Chamber of Deputies will push for additional amendments requiring the legislation to be sent back to the Senate. Marijuana legalization advocates remain concerned about a number of provisions in the proposal as it stands. I'll probably never go back into side eye. Yeah, they've all but burnt that bridge with me, I think. Okay, so people will not have to track plants. Additional change mandates that the government clear criminal records. So anybody who has a criminal cannabis conviction can have that conviction overturned in 6 months. Another modification that advocates are not happy with says the nonprofit associations from consumers that collectively cultivate cannabis must be located at least 500 meters from schools, sports, and rec, and third parties who have not given their consent to be exposed to smoke. So this is saying that you can't have like a cafe or a smoking club anywhere near a school, a sports facility. And why that's a big deal is you could have a bar inside of a soccer stadium, but you couldn't have a place that you can go smoke pot. So it is December 15th, the deadline on this, which conveniently is the same day that Biden goes in. So that's a double dip on pot stocks, right? So if you can find a pot stock that you think is going to benefit from both Mexico and the U.S., there's huge opportunity there. %40 of the licenses must be granted to indigenous, low-income, or historically marginalized communities. Are white people a marginalized community in Mexico? Could I go to Mexico and just get a license? Honey, you want to go to Mexico? No answer. I'll take that as a no. Legislation makes some attempts. No, they are not. No, they're the majority. 52.8% of Mexican Americans. White. 47% of the population. Okay. So that's a no-go on that. So the Senate president says they want to get this done by December 15th. Eight plant maximum. Possession of more than 28 grams but fewer than 200 grams would be an infraction punishable by a fine but no jail time. 28 grams? Okay. I've got more than 28 grams here. This would be a finable infraction. You can't have more than 28 grams. Okay, so the 15th is the deadline. And the big concern is that major corporations are going to swoop in and kill the local farmers. Okay, so those are the two big things. Local farming. So you want to find somebody that's working with local farming. Okay, so Farmacello and Mino Labs. Mino Labs. Website. No website? Website. They lack a lot of the detail here. Doesn't say who they're partnered with. There's not a lot of detail on this site. I'll dress your ketchup chips. I'm kind of in neither. I like the cheddar and sour cream chips. I know it's not a Canadian thing, but sue me. Effective December 1st, Henning von Koss has been named the CEO of Farmaciello, replacing departing CEO David Attard. Okay, so they entered the UK market. Okay, revenue Q3 was 25,000. Is this in thousands? I hope this is in thousands. I don't think it is. So Q3 2019, they had over $2 million in revenue, or over $2 million in gross profits. That declined to So they're burning about $3 million a quarter. $3.2 million on hand. 13.7 million. Private placement of 10 million. So they've got 13 million. They've got enough to make it through another year. Okay, it's going to be able to start exports into the EU. It already has the UK, Canada, Mexico, US. Medicinal grade CBD being delivered to the UK. UK, EU. been labeled as a project of national strategic interest in Colombia. So they get government support. Okay, so they had a nightmare quarter, dumped the CEO, brought in a new CEO. They've opened up the UK, the EU, and Mexico. They've got the government of Colombia supporting them, but they've got to start turning sales, is the name of the game here. So solid Q4 performance, or the legalization of pot in Mexico, stand a very, very good chance. I will set this at $5. Sell, $5. Duration, good till canceled. There it is, $5. Mm-hmm. Muddy Waters. Okay, Muddy Waters is going after the entire EV sector.
The 12 million.
Yeah, it looks like they're going after the entire EV sector now. That's pretty crazy. Okay, what's Kramer up to today? Hmm. All right. Texas filed a lawsuit directly with the Supreme Court last night challenging the election procedures in Georgia. Hmm. All right, so it's been sent to the Supreme Court. That doesn't really mean much of anything, but interesting. SpaceX has got a launch going on. I'm sure space is picking up on that, right? AMC is up 9%. Ugh. It just ugh. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it for me today. I'll send you over to hang out with Stock Guy for a bit. I am going to be back. Tomorrow, hopefully with a camera. I'm going to go out and grab one of those right now. But huge thanks to all of you guys that are following, subscribing, doing what you do, hanging out day in, day out with me here. Enjoy the time with Stock Guy. I will see you back on camera hopefully tomorrow. So see you then. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.